I don't know, but hello, Dr. Kimberly.
Oh my gosh, it says we're live. Here I'm writing myself a note, Dr. Kimberly, to remind myself, and it says we're live. What? What?
Funny.
If
Oh,
I
so
if,
good
if I don't
afternoon.
write things down, I don't remember them.
Okay.
And then I forget where I wrote them down. But I knew sometimes I remember that I wrote them, but I don't remember. This is now into therapy and you'd have to charge me. So I'm going to pastoral counseling.
Yeah,
Pastoral counseling.
that's what that is. Yes, Pastor Dave. Well, you are rolling on the road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave, and today is our 2-year anniversary, July 5th of 2020. We had enough friends and followers that we needed to create our own Facebook page. We had been broadcasting from Disability Advocates of Kent County, those first from May 7th to July 5th. We even had some wonderful staffing. And so now, on I think it was July 5th of 2020, and we said, you know what? Oh my gosh, we've outgrown Disability Advocates of Kent County. You were like, look, get off.
Well, it
It's
wasn't.
okay.
It wasn't like
We
we
were kind of
outgrew it.
commandeering.
It was the commandeering in the sense of, it's like, what show is this, Dr. Kimberly?
Rolling on the road.
But show number
251.
So 2 years ago, we were probably like on show 20, and we're collecting all these cool, our archive of shows. Because that first year or first couple months, we had Adam London, Pat Draper,
Yeah.
Sue, Sue, who's with Kent County Community Development. Hey, Jessica. We had Robert S. Womack talking about the demonstrations in downtown Grand Rapids in response to the George Floyd death in Minnesota. I mean, we had some wacky, powerful shows, and not to say they got lost, but they were kind of hidden in plain sight within the Disability Advocates Facebook page. So we wanted to archive them. And as we continue to just be just positively baffled by, people keep going back and watching them because there's wacky, cool stuff there. And so we wanted to hide it in plainer sight for people to find it. So
in plainer sight. Yeah, I think it's unbelievable. And some of the topics that we have covered, oh my goodness. I think we talk about it, but I think that maybe in lieu of a show, we need to replay Elevator a Go-Go show. Wow.
That's another, I mean, we could put together a DVD of our top shows. It would be a collector's item that, I mean, that Elevator a Go-Go show, I continue to just tell folks about that, where when you expect one thing and you get another, sometimes it's great disappointment when you expect exactly not to the problem. You have an expectation of a birthday party or a birthday present, and you open up a box and you're like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Long underwear. But anyways,
I don't like that kind. As my grandson would say, yeah, Nana, I don't like that kind.
Exactly. And so that Elevator a Go-Go show, we expected comedic mayhem. Yeah. And instead we got heavy, deep, and real racial injustice, the witnessing on racial injustice, as well as witnessing of the work that continues to need to be done for racial justice.
Yes.
That was, wow.
Yes, I agree. I definitely agree. And you never run out of things to talk about. There's always something. happening that, you know what, somebody needs to bring that to light. Somebody needs to start having this conversation about that. I think one of the other popular shows was uh, How to Stay Friends, during a pandemic. Boy, we had a big, huge, it looked like more than the Baby Bunch, seriously, of all these women who have found a way to forge their relationships and like, yeah, now that we can't get together, what does that look like? um Another great show was the PTSD show. We had Dr. Napangi Thomas out of Detroit. We had the ED from Network 180. We had Lauren Schutte, who is an actual counselor. She was on, and seems like we had one more person, but we talked about PTSD. It's not just for soldiers, but that anybody and everybody can experience post traumatic stress disorder.
And with that, and especially when you were talking about how people, remain friends, and just the simple things. It's like, I mean, people have so much moved on from COVID. It's like, just life is back to whatever, in spite of the price of gas up, all kinds of discord throughout our nation, Supreme Court making wacky rulings right and left, all these things happening. And then, again, 2 years ago, we were washing our food and groceries when we came home from the
Yes,
store.
crazy. I
And
mean, you and I both attended an event. I'm going to say almost 2 weeks ago together, and I think I was really shocked on a lot of levels, um, that there was someone who had tested positive for COVID. And I guess the first thought I came was, didn't you get a shot for that? Why are we still testing positive? Did we not get, where were you? Did you miss it or something? I don't know.
well,
But
and at the same time, I mean, I do know a couple people that did get 1 and 2 shots plus the booster, but then they still got the COVID because nothing's 100%. But I think, to your point, is that the people who are vaccinated and boosted, if there's other people out there who are still, I mean, we've had this conversation, people are out there, they're incubating it and creating new variants, because at least my assumption is you and I, who are both vaccinated and boosted, because you're double boosted, right?
I am. I've had 4.
So, COVID isn't going to have much of an opportunity to hang out with you. But then if you're hanging out with people who don't, and COVID is this new variant that gets developed, it's wacky. We got to get our friends at the health department back on here.
I think we do. I think we really, really do. And what's really funny is I was watching a late night show last night, and he was filling in for someone else who had been on vacation. So he's been there all week. And it's like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. So he says, oh, I have an honorary doctorate. So that means I'm smart and I can tell you about some things. So he gets into one of his little skits was about COVID and what are these subvariants. And when I tell you, okay, it was really, really funny. I know that it's a serious subject, but when you sit back, you say, yeah, okay, I can understand why people didn't want to get vaccinated, because if this is who you were listening to, okay, tell us about the milkman again.
But people are still, and don't take this necessarily as a political comment, this is just a witnessing of a fact.
Okay.
One of our former president's greatest accomplishments was that they said, hey, we want a vaccine and we want it as fast as possible. And we got a vaccine within a year of COVID coming out. And that is a big deal in the medical world. And shoulda, coulda, woulda, bragged it up and said to all kinds of people, go out and get vaccinated because this was a great triumph of American science. And when that former president said that at a rally, he got booed for saying go get vaccinated. So he doesn't talk about getting vaccinated anymore. Truly one of the, and I mean, he didn't do it, of course. No president does it. Presidents tell people to do it. And but he said, let's fund it. Let's make it happen. Boom. It happened in record time. And there's still people out there dogging the science. And I don't know. Who is this milkman that is the source of all these rumors? I
have to be like my grandkids. I don't know. I didn't know.
And this milk person is out there.
I mean, okay, so all I need him to work your campaign, my campaign. I mean, yeah, when we want donations for things, we need to go find this guy because this guy is so influential. Extremely
influential, and people like to repeat what he says. And even though it keeps getting, because I hope we've all played that telephone game. That was a great youth ministry, right? You start the telephone, and by the time it gets across the room, it has nothing similar to the first statement.
Absolutely.
And so maybe the milkman's been telling the truth this whole time, and we've been dogging the milkman.
Now that
we apologize to the milkmen and women of America. It's the people between you and us that got it wrong. We're gonna apologize to the milkmen and women because they got it right.
We will take a moment now. Those of you who can take a knee, please take a knee.
Everyone else, just please be quiet. Because we're gonna admit to our sins. But I'll just
that'll be 5 Hail Marys and 3 Our Fathers.
Amen.
And go in peace, my son. Go in peace.
And a few dozen glory bees. Te absolvo, as we would say in the old world.
Yeah, I think that's what we might have to say. But I really do. I think that so to all of our friends out there, we are making it work. You said something, earlier about some of the shows that we had that we've archived, and they're timeless. They're timeless. We almost did a replay today. Almost. And when I thought about it, I said, wow, maybe we need to have them all. Let's just take the top ones. It won't be every single show. I mean, that's 250 are a lot to go through. When you look,
you might have a couple that are like, we don't want to watch that one again, because that's how these things can happen, But the 251, there are some true gems in the collection.
Oh, I love the one, young people dealing with depression. We did a show on that, or being a young person who's dating with a disability. We talked about that. What do you disclose? Do you need to disclose? And
what and when?
And we made that synonymous with getting a job. Now, those were some really great shows. So John Kuhn, that was a good show.
Yes.
We played a game. Yeah, where he said, what was good etiquette as it relates to hiring.
Yep.
And just those small nuances in the sentence can make the difference. But we can't forget about, oh my God, I saw for the first time after all this time, the Laker line. Woohoo!
The Laker line.
I saw the bus and I was with some friends and they said, oh my gosh, look at that. and I'm just giggling. They're like, okay, why are you laughing at this bus? That bus is not that funny. Oh, if you only knew, We'll see everyone. Yep. See, I got my hearing aids in today. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, some people, they get tired of you when you say, can you repeat that? What did you say? Hey, what? So I just pretend like I hear everything that is being said. Oh, there it goes. It's falling out. So sometimes, I just pretend when I'm too lazy to sit and look at your mouth and say, okay, let me read your lips. And I'm just laughing. And they're like, okay, are you going to fill us in on the joke? And I said, well, Dave and I were doing a show. And I was like this. I was just all into it. And I said, they were talking about this new bus line. And I said, all I heard was that it'll start downtown, take the college kids from downtown all the way out to the Allendale campus. And it's called, I said, what? The liquor line? Oh my God, I think that is so cool. I said, the kids can, hang out downtown, get drunk, get on the bus, and then get back out to school. No. And you guys were just, I'm like, what just happened? And they're like, you thought it was, I said, I promise you. I said, I think that's probably the most fun I have throughout the day is when I repeat back to people what I think I thought they said to me.
Well, and if we invite our friend Bill Kirk was working for the Rapid, and he's the one who told us about the Laker line. And Bill now is at Downtown Grand Rapids Inc. So he went back to Downtown Grand Rapids Inc. because he was at the Rapid, went to Downtown Grand Rapids Inc., and then moved to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and then back in town at the Rapid, and now back at Downtown Grand Rapids Inc. So we could get Bill on soon to talk about what's shaking at DGRI, Downtown Grand Rapids Inc. AKA. And again, think of the fun we have because he could tell us the update on the liquor line because it goes through DGRI's territory. It's all about territory.
I think the next one we need to see. I think that one needs to be in the archive for people to go say, hey, you know what? I want to watch the show again. The other one would be, what did Kim do? When we went through Special Olympics. And they were not done yet. And oh my gosh, they had the machine on to try to air out the fumes, and we rolled right into it. And I was just like, and so yes, we're here at the Special Olympics.
It is so unbelievable of what this space looked like just a few months ago. It was, folks, we had posts holding up the ceiling because they were moving parts of walls. And of course, where they were going to put the RTUs, the rooftop units, there were new holes in the ceiling. So those were leaking a little bit. It was all wacky. And here we go.
Wonky. Yeah.
Very wacky, very wonky here. And now
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I wasn't going to say that the air conditioning unit in the hallway has too much moisture, condensation, but they're working on it. So it happens. But yeah, a lot of great stuff. Your next opportunity to be out here, shameless plug number one for today, is, of course, October 20th, our Invest in Ability dinner, because our ADA celebration, shameless plug, 2 weeks from today. Are we going to broadcast live from the Kentwood Library?
We are.
Did we already decide that?
We had.
We had. Okay, folks. See, I didn't write it down. Let me see if I wrote it down. I do have Rolling on the Road in my book, but it doesn't say broadcast live. So we have to broadcast live from the Kent District Library, Kentwood branch. Address something on Breton Road Southeast.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that.
Next to Kentwood City Hall, folks. Come on out. It's always a blast and a half. Tacos. For some reason, we're enjoying tacos around here these days. Nothing against tacos. I like tacos. We had tacos at the Black and Brown Community Partners lunch a few weeks ago, but we're having tacos.
We had soft shell tacos.
And all good things. So come on out July 19th. Let me make sure I got it. July 19th, 5.
And bring a couple extra balloons because it's the day after my birthday.
Celebrate good times. Come on. Do. Hey, you don't want me to sing, so I'm going to quick change the topic back to July 19th. Bring balloons. Good music provided by Artists Creating Together, Arts and
Oh my gosh, they're like my favorite.
The drum crew's going to be pounding. Lovely. Enjoying some food. We'll have tons of community partners there, as we always do. And we slowly or quickly emerge from COVID, because the last 2 ADA celebrations were...
Oh my goodness. We did the...
Was that last summer that when we had the fire truck go by?
Yes.
And we thought, we still haven't gotten that blooper reel because that was the best.
Hilarious.
And then they didn't run it because, we did some pre-recording, and then they didn't allow us to be in the editing room because I guess we're not worthy to decide what's better. But when the fire truck, we were outside recording and the fire truck went by, it was hilarious. It's always hilarious.
And then we just worked it right into the show like it was nothing.
Hey, folks, if you're going to be outside and a bird goes by or a fire truck or an aerial plane, you got to roll with it. You either ignore it and no one hears you.
No pun intended, roll with it.
Exactly. And we roll with it 251 times, 2 years with our own Facebook page. How many states?
We are in all 50 states.
50 states.
We are in 10 countries.
We're up to 10 countries. We've had dialogue in the chat with folks in Kenya and the Netherlands, live on the show. So a lot of great things happening, folks. Yeah. And it's
got a hold of Phil Tower. I'm really excited.
Nice. Because we do want to upgrade our technological prowess. Because
that was a mouthful there.
It was, because if you remember the show we did live from the Home Accessibility Center, we needed to upgrade our technological prowess.
Just a little bit.
It's one thing if you're doing a tour in a work zone. It's another thing when you're in a finished space. And it was, yeah.
So we apologize for all the crazy technology things, but we persevered through. We're still...
Well, people keep hanging with us, Dr. Kimberly.
They do. And that's the piece that I love. And they were really, into the conversation on last week. Everybody's, I guess, people are regrouping from this long weekend, and there's been another shooting. So, are just like,
What gets into somebody to just like randomly shoot into a crowd?
They need therapy. They
need therapy.
They need purple. That's what they need.
They need some purple, and they need some therapy, and they need... We need some... I'm just going to say it. We need some stricter gun laws. You can't just go buy guns for the fun of it.
Well, I'm just saying, maybe people who are elected officials and working on it, maybe they can do something about that.
And then, see, we've already talked about our friends at the Supreme Court overturning a 106-year-old law in New York that made it a little more difficult to get a handgun, but people still were able to get them. There's plenty of handguns out there, but it's like, I don't get it.
Me too, neither. So I'll just keep on rolling on the road with you until maybe we figure it out.
We could be adding a 0 to our list there, celebrating 20 years and 2,510 shows. We're still trying to figure it out. Hey, Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie's going to be at the ADA celebration because Ronnie knows a good time. And that is what we have.
That is it.
Good food, good times. But yeah, we'll be rolling a while till we can figure some of this out because people just keep doubling down on things. Don't they?
Breathe.
Is it just me or people are doubling down on the
It definitely feels like a double down. It really does. I mean, you think that we get healed in this area, and then it's like, oh well, we'll just take the ignorance and stupid from that situation, and we'll move it over here to this one, instead of saying, wait a minute, no, we got rid of it here. Let's keep getting rid of it in other places. Let's.
Right.
It's almost like how you get rid of your roaches, but they go and they hide in bags and things, and then other people come and they take it and it's like, what? I got rid of all of mine. That's because they infested with you.
Vermin of all varieties find places.
They do. So are we trying to say that life circumstances are like little vermins? They get into everything. Just
like, they can and they do, and that's why somebody made some comment about vigilance and democracy. Here as we're after the 4th of July, how unfortunately people just keep like all these efforts to make it harder for people to vote with zero evidence of voter fraud. We have to increase the security of the vote. In fact, there's one allegation of voter fraud who was the chief of staff in the White House. He lied about his address. So not these tens of thousands of people across America that voted illegally. I just don't get it.
Well, I just think that it's magic. What do? We get you to focus on this right here while I'm doing something else over here. And so I think that's it. We have some master magicians.
We have some very masterful musicians. But back to...
Did you say masterful musicians?
Musicians. But back to the topic at hand and some of our shows that were faves. Remember when we traveled around the state?
Oh my gosh, to all the CILs.
Because today I had an opportunity to travel via newsletters with a couple CILs. Our partner organization, Disability Network Mid-Michigan, they posted in their newsletter that July is Disability Pride Month. But just pride to be a person with a disability, not related to pride and
sexual orientation.
And that, say that was last month, we celebrated pride from a gender orientation perspective. This month, it's pride from a disability perspective, as people, again, the paradigm that disability is something to be ashamed of or hidden or to be cured from, as opposed to it's just part of who I am. And people to take pride in that this is just part of who I am. So Disability Pride Month, of course, it coincides with the signing of the ADA. Shameless plug part 2, July 19th is our ADA celebration. KDL, Kent District Library, Kentwood Branch. Come on down. Lots of great stuff.
And hey, you want to be on the show? Show up. And guess what? Well, guess who's attending?
Ronnie. We could remember when you were here, Dr. Kimberly, last September when we did the unveiling of our campaign, and you broadcast live from just outside the gym here on the campus. We could and should. We have 2 weeks to pull it off, and we're just the kind of people to do it. We could have like a little remote studio instead of this. This white wall between us here. Let me push on it. There it is.
Oh,
there it is. So this white wall won't be there, and we could be there, and then we'll bring in our guests. Ronnie, be there before 5 o'clock. We'll roll some other people through. We're going to look just like a live remote WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh my God, we're dating ourselves.
We are, folks. We're not going to talk about any of those classic shows.
Woo.
However, so 2 weeks from now, live remote, Kentwood Library. It's actually the Kent District Library, Kentwood Branch. We have to have the official title. On Breton Southeast, right next to Kentwood City Hall. Music, comedic mayhem, food, and great information. That's what we're celebrating. We're celebrating, abilities. We're celebrating people who want to live self-directed lives. And the ADA, you're one of those people? Since when?
Yes.
So anyways, yes, it is. That's what the ADA is about. It's knocking down barriers and identifying discrimination. Ronnie's giving a thumbs up. We'll see you there, Ronnie, 2 weeks. Live from the Kentwood Library. It's Saturday. No, it's Tuesday evening.
Live from New York. It's Tuesday Day Live. Oh.
Tuesday evening live.
Yeah.
Look for the t-shirts, Tuesday evening live.
That'd be cool. So we want to tell everybody thank you. Thank you for keeping us relevant. And hey, Jason. Hey, Jace.
Hello.
We want to say thank you for keeping us relevant.
Well, yeah, the great challenges and shout outs, as you noted, from coast to coast, helping folks get a few more words and a little spotlight on their activities. Great things happening.
Great things. Great things. Oh, we want to take a moment. We'll post the picture on the page, but I was so honored last Thursday to go to Heroes Corner. Many of you saw Taz and Reggie on the show about a couple of weeks ago. So we Rolling on the Road took them a lot of supplies. Wonderful things to do.
Yes. Excellent. Hopefully some board games.
They had a plethora. So I brought, word games in a book.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent, because it's all back to peer support, people hanging out.
Yes. So we want to say thank you. You have been tuned into Rolling on the Road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave. And today marks our July 5th. We have been on Facebook for 2 years. We got our own page on this day, and we broadcast live. And not only, but we have done 251 shows, including today's show.
Live and Memorex, as we've already noted today. People love.
You're welcome, Randy.
Yep, people love to watch reruns, and our reruns. It's kind of like Netflix. We could probably syndicate ourselves through Netflix.
I'm thinking that might be a great idea. We don't think we got enough shows, and by the time they get through those shows, I think what we should do. I know you're busy, and I'm really busy. Mm-hmm. But I think that we need to go through and pick all of our. You pick your favorites. I'll pick my favorites, and then there are many that our viewing audience have told me what their favorites were.
That voter call-in show.
Just like. So I think that we should compile that, and that's what will be in our little. You can get the little CD for $12.99.
$12.99. Send a self-addressed stamped envelope. Well,
and those the dispatch.
COD.
Isn't that crazy? They used to do that.
they used to, cash on delivery, that the post men and women would collect cash if they would drop something off. That is just wacky.
That's crazy.
And now if the credit card doesn't clear, you ain't getting nothing.
Wait a minute. And sometimes they say, oh, no, we don't want a debit one. We need a real card, okay?
We need real money that we guarantee is coming to us.
Mm-hmm.
And and then, of course, we're not going to say sometimes that thing that comes in the mail isn't quite what you expect it to be. It's expected to be. It's kind of like sea monkeys. Remember sea monkeys?
Oh my gosh. So I love when my grandkids get ready to come over, because then I think about all the cool little things that, I think little kids should have, because they're going to pack their stuff up and take that back home with their mom. Yeah. And so I was making them these little gift bags so that when they came in, they each would have their little gift bag. And I went to the store looking for the different things to put in there, and I saw bazooka gum.
Exactly.
They're like, what are you talking about that? Because for those of you who know, that's how you get the sea monkeys, is that you have to buy the bazooka gum, and then you peel it off, and on the inside there's always a joke, and then there is like a trivia question to answer, and then they ask you, do you want sea monkeys? And you're like, oh my God, yeah. You only have to collect 250 wrappers. You're like, what?
And $1.99.
And you too can have some sea monkeys. And I just remember looking for anything that I could do to earn my little monies, so I could, number one, buy the bazookas, and then number two, save up for my $1.99 so I could get my sea monkeys. And then I found out like they don't exist. No,
they aren't monkeys. They're really just brine shrimp. Those little comics of the sea monkey king and queen just weren't real, people.
And I was thinking like, oh my gosh, they're gonna come, and then we're gonna have this little kingdom and all the little things that we. She's sad.
Maybe next time, that what you actually see in the ad is really it. Because I wonder if there was a disclaimer down on the bottom that said these really aren't monkeys, they're just brine shrimp.
I don't know, but I know we can Google it.
Google it. Google images of sea monkey ads. I have to do that right now, folks. I'm just, it's all right here. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. I just got distracted. Somebody just sent me a reminder that the first meeting of a group is tonight at 7. Really? At 4 o'clock on? Anyways, I digress. Okay. Sea monkey ads. Sea monkey eggs.
No, not the eggs. The ads.
Oh my gosh, the original sea monkeys.
Really?
It's still, here it is online. Invisible goldfish, 100% guaranteed never to be seen. I'm not making this up, people.
Yes, you are. Okay, he's just trying to boost the ratings, everyone.
5 days later, use a sea monkey registered trademark feeding spoon to add 1 small scoop of powder from packet number 3 growth food. Do not stir. Feed 1 level scoop of food from feeding spoon once a week. Look at that. Sea monkeys. Place your order here. I'm going to click on that, folks. I mean, we are really digressing far into the original sea monkeys online ordering for US and Canada. $20 for the Sea Monkey Instant Life Retro Kit. Folks, to think I could be a millionaire now if I would have sold, instead of putting that money into Bazooka Bubblegum, I bought Sea Monkey stock. It would have been it.
You know what? Just
It would have been it. So, folks, instead of Googling Sea Monkey, go to Facebook, look at some of our great shows, pick your favorite and send our way. Tanji, awesome to see you. Let us know what you've been hanging out and which shows you've enjoyed and why. You know, could be for different reasons. And we will be reminiscent as we always do and digressing from here to there as we do. And good stuff is bound to happen here as we roll together.
Absolutely. So we want to say thank you so much for tuning in. You have been rolling on the road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave. So we'll see you the same place, same time on next week. But I'm so glad we had this time together. That's it. Yes, yes, yes. We are truly dating ourselves today.
I mean, and again, we're saying hi to our moms. They're probably hanging out in heaven together.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Peace out.